Right, good afternoon. How are we doing today, everybody? Just want to make sure I can hear myself, make sure you can hear me. Awesome, we've got people coming in already, so we've got Jake, we've got Carol. Welcome everybody, hope you're doing all right. So, as ever, we will give everybody a few minutes just to come in and join us, getting those notifications that we're live. So, yeah, give everyone a few minutes to come in and join us. Have a little glance over the board if you can see it. Let me know if there's anything that you want sort of immediate amendments or alterations to any of the exercises. And then we'll have a little warm up and get cracking. So as I said on the alert sort of 10 minutes ago, you will need a weight of some kind. So it doesn't matter if it's 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, a kettlebell, a medicine ball, anything you can grab and access that's just going to add a little bit of weight just to one of the stations. So don't worry if you haven't got anything, even a heavy book, anything you can grab that you're not going to, you know, drop and smash, not a nice vase or anything like that. So we'll give everyone a couple of minutes. Let me know how you're doing, how many of these you've sort of taken part in so far, whether you are participating or whether you're just having a little watch sitting from your garden. So let's have a little look if there's any comments coming in at the moment. Got a few people watching. So we've got Andrew, Nick, Carol, Derek and Charles. Hello everybody. So we've got 8 people so far. I think you should be able to see hopefully what we're doing today. So it's the same session we were running this morning. So one weighted station, which is your squat to press. Everything else is body weight, quite explosive. So if you do have any issues doing impact work, I will run through some alternatives as I run through the session, or just drop me a message and let me know if there's anything sort of specific. I'll give a few alternatives if you've got any wrist or shoulder issues, and again, any alternatives if you've got any hip, knee or ankle issues. So hopefully you'll get a good sort of variety so everyone can join in, so we've got as many people participating as possible. We are going to be doing 4 rounds of this today, so it will be 20 minutes of sort of total work with 1 minute rest between each round. So you can come back and repeat this at another time. Pretty nice when you can sort of tag on an extra round on the end if you're feeling a bit energetic. You can come back to. So yeah, let's see if we have any comments coming through. Otherwise, might get cracking with just sort of a general warm up. So we've got Julie Fox as well. We've got Fiona. Welcome everybody. Okay. So while we just wait for a few more to join us, we'll just go through sort of a gentle warm up and then get a little bit more warm as we go along. So just in case you've been sat today, sat at a desk, sat at your dining table that isn't really set up as a desk, or sat on your sofa, we'll just mobilise upper body. So take your feet a little bit wider, knees nice and soft, and we're just going to rotate the arms. Might get a bit of clicking and releasing in the back. So head just follows the arms around the body, just loosening everything up, waking everything up a little bit, taking it nice and steady. So you want to make sure if you are still working from home, getting up, I mean the World Health Organization website actually says to try and get up every 30 minutes for 3 minutes. So quite a lot of getting up and down there, but do make sure you are having nice breaks and you're getting up and having a little move around. Just go into some arm circles backwards. Yeah, so you want to make sure as well posture is going to suffer a little bit during this time of isolation. Sat on your sofa, you know, sat, like I said, over a laptop. Want to watch those arms come around the front of the body, chest getting tighter. So you do need to warm up, do need to move around the room in between long periods on your computers and things. So some forward arm circles for me now. And then we'll just do some circles, bring your arms forwards and then open up the chest back. So getting a little bit more dynamic, just following me, not doing specific timings or anything like that. You can just, if one feels particularly nice, you can stay there for a little bit longer, or you can just follow as I am doing. So stretching out the chest. That's what's going to get tight when you're working at your desk, at your computer or laptop. So want to be stretching out the chest at intervals throughout the day. So we'll come down onto the floor, do a little bit of a combination. So hinging forward, just a little soft bend in the knee, hip goes back, coming into that high plank position, taking our time, just drawing the shoulders back, making sure the bum is tucked under, belly button is drawn in tight, and we're going to step the left foot forwards. So left foot is forward, we're then going to bend the left elbow, reaching it down for the floor if you can, and then we're going to open out to the side. So opening out to the left, elbow is leading up to the ceiling, and lengthen out the arm. Hand goes back to the floor, foot goes back into that high plank position, again screw the shoulders back and down, tailbone is tucked under again, belly button is drawn in tight, stepping the right foot forward. This time the right elbow is going to bend and opening out to the ceiling, so leading with the elbow, rotating round. We'll do 2 more on each side, so stepping the right foot back, left foot steps forward, left elbow to as close to the floor as you can, elbow leads to the ceiling and then extending the arm. Left hand back to the floor, left foot back to the mat, this time with the right, so making sure we're in that nice plank position between each one, shoulders drawn back and down, belly button in, right foot forward, right elbow as close to the floor as you can, right elbow then leads up to the ceiling, and arm follows it, opening out. So your head should be following with this movement as well. Hand goes back to the floor, right foot goes back, we're doing 1 more on each side, so left foot comes forward, left elbow as close as we can to the floor so you can get a little bit closer. A bit more stretching the hips and the hip flexors. Elbow up to the ceiling, extend the arm around. Head follows, so eyes keeping a look on that left hand. Hand back to the floor, left leg back. Screw the shoulders back and down again. Nice final plank. Right leg forward, last time. Elbow to the floor. Elbow then leads up to the ceiling and rotate up and round. Hand back to the floor, back into that plank, and we're going to push the hips back up into the ceiling and come back up into our hinge. So we'll have a little bit of lunge work to finish, just mobilising the spine again. So we're going to lunge down, both knees get to 90, rotate towards that leading leg, back up to standing, other side. Lunge down, both knees to 90, rotate towards that leading leg. So we'll go for roughly 10 of these. Then we're going to go for 10 where we also mobilise and open out the hip flexors a little bit more. So hopefully heart rate is raising a little bit more now. If it's not, you can make these a little bit faster, but want to focus on properly executing the movements, looking ahead, chest stays nice and proud, nice and upright. So I've realised doing these that I can't count, talk and move at the same time. So we're going to do 2 more on each leg and I'm going to hope that's 10. But I'm sure you'll let me know if I've shortchanged you. So last one on the left or the right, whichever you've led with first. Okay, and then we're going to add a little hip flexor stretch into that lunge. So same lunge down. This time try and tap the heel as close as you can and then arms raise up. So what we don't want to do is when we're in this bottom position, you don't want to try and get as much of a crank out of it as possible, hyperextend the spine. So tapping down, if your shoulders only let you go to that far, that's fine. We're still stretching out hip flex in the bottom of this movement. So again, we'll try and go for 10 if I can count. Tap, raise. You should get a bit more movement out of these as we work through. So you should find you can get a bit lower in that bottom position, or you're getting the arms further back each time. Tap, raise. Just thinking about that low back as well. Belly button drawn in. So stabilising the spine as we do these. Should be getting those legs warmed up already, I don't mind it burning. Maybe that's just because I'm out of practice now. So, 1 more each side after this one. Spend a little bit of extra time in that bottom position. Tap, slow raise, and back. Well done. Last time, final leg. A little bit extra time in this position. Slow raise up. And there we go. Right, so make sure that you have some water. I don't trust having music on after it went silent, some people couldn't hear. So have your tunes on in the background. I'll make sure that I'm shouting loud enough so you can still hear me over your music. That's going to help you get in the zone, pick some good tracks now. We'll get cracking about 90 seconds. So if you have a mat, perfect. If you don't worry. If you have access to some form of weight, that's great as well. So you can use 1 dumbbell, you can use 2, you can use a medicine ball, you can use a kettlebell, anything you've got access to around the house if you're not fortunate enough to have any sort of gym-based weights. But you do only need that for our first exercise, which is squat to press. So, let's see how quickly I can explain what we're doing, get you going while you're still nice and warm. I'll just grab this so I can see any comments. No comments so far. A few more people watching. Hi Alex, hi Dan, hi Helen and Rich. Okay, so today, in my classes you've probably heard and known of us doing EMOMs, which stands for every minute on the minute. Today we have an E4MOM, so every 4 minutes on the 4th minute. So basically you have 4 minutes to do the following exercises. If you finish in the time, for the remaining time, you are going to jog on the spot. If you've got a bit extra energy to burn today, you can do something a bit more high impact, a bit more intense than jogging on the spot. You can make the jogging on the spot a bit more intense anyway by pumping the arms and driving the knees. But if you have extra time at the end, you want to do broad jumps or squat jumps or anything else like that, do feel free to, or burpees even if you're feeling a little bit depraved today. Feel free to do that. So you've got 4 minutes to do the following exercises. 20 squat to press. So that's where your weight, if you've got one, is going to come in. So you can use 1 dumbbell, you can use 2 dumbbells, you can use a medicine ball, you can use a kettlebell. So squatting all the way down, pump up. Squat all the way down, pump up. So full squat for your squat to press. 20 of those. Then you've got 20 high to low planks. So in your high plank position to start, feet can be a little bit wider, just so we stabilise the hips as we go down. Going down onto your forearms and back up into your high plank. That's 1. So you're going to count each time you come back up. And if you can alternate the arms that you go down and up on, even better, just to keep everything as symmetrical as possible. Then we've got 20 jump lunges. So jump lunges in your lunge position to start off with, which is obviously warmed up already. Up to the top, into that split stance, and you can ride it down. Up, ride down, up, ride down. So if you have any hip, knee or ankle issues, but you're okay with just a regular lunge forwards and backwards, go for that. If a sideways or lateral lunge suits you better, go for that rather than the intensity. After those, you've got 20 press-ups. You can do that on the floor if you've got 20 in your locker. You can do them at a slight incline, so on a chair, on a sofa, on a garden bench, anything you've got access to. So that incline will make it a bit easier. Or you can do it on your knees on the floor, but we do want to make sure that the spine is still neutral and you're not having the hips coming up. After that, we've got 20 power jacks. Haven't ever done a power jack in my life, so let's have a little laugh and see how this is going to go. I think this is how we do it. Squat. Woohoo! Not too bad actually, there we go. So coming down into a squat position, keeping the chest still high, basically like a star jump on steroids. Power jack. So again, if you can't have the impact, then go for a sumo squat instead. See how you get on with 20 reps. You might get them done a bit too quick, so maybe go for 30 to 40 if you're going to do a squat instead. Remaining time, jog on the spot. So you can jog on the spot, you can squat jump on the spot, you can broad jump on the spot, anything you like for the remaining time of your 4 minutes. So let's see if we've got any comments, anything that anybody cannot do. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Give you about 30 seconds. So you've got squat to press, high to low planks, jumping lunges, press ups, power jacks. You've got 4 minutes to do 20 of each. So that's 5 stations, 20 of each. So any issues that you've got, anything you can't do. I know earlier there were a few comments about wrists and shoulders, and obviously we've got some impact on the legs. So any sort of hip, knee or ankle issues, let me know. Looks like no issues so far though, so that's good, guys. Do just let me know. I've had a niggly knee in the past, so much better to say rather than sort of suffer in silence. I want to make this as inclusive as possible so everyone can get involved. So yeah, hopefully I've given you sort of enough alterations. If wrists are an issue, you can do dead bugs instead, or butterfly sit-ups instead of your high to low planks. And with the press-ups, if you do have access to a weight, you can come onto your back and do, if you've got one weight, either a single, or if you've got 2 weights, a chest press on your back from the floor. So a couple of options there if you've got any shoulder or wrist issues. But it appears we're all good, which is great. So are we ready to go, basically? So get yourself into your little exercise area, wherever that may be. Make sure you've got some water on the side. So you've got 4 minutes to do those 5 stations, 20 reps of each, and then we're going to have 1 minute recovery at the end. So we're going to keep going for 20 minutes. Are we ready? Okay. So starting off then with our squat to press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So you've got 4 minutes, 20 squat to press to start. So you're either using 2 dumbbells, 1 dumbbell, kettlebell you can press up overhead, medicine ball, full squat down, thinking of knees travelling, same direction as the toes, not letting the knees collapse in, squeezing glutes at the top, breathing in on the way down, out as you press up. So nice punchy tempo, 20 squat to press. Coming up after that squat to press, we've got high to low planks. Unless you've got an alternative. So working your way through. 20 squat to press. Coming up next is 20 high to low planks. So remember, when you're onto your high to low planks, alternating the sides you're going up with, alternating the sides you're coming back down. Keeping the pelvis tucked under, so not letting the hips be the first thing that punch up into the ceiling. You want to keep the spine as neutral as possible, squeezing the glutes, drawing the belly button in. 20 high to low planks. After your high to low planks, we're up onto our feet into our jump lunges. Right, no comments coming in through so far. I've got 9 people watching. How many of you are actually joining in? That's what I want to know. You've had 90 seconds of your 4 minutes so far. So after high to low planks, it's jump lunges. You can either lunge forwards, 10 one side, 10 the other if the impact is too much. You can do lateral lunges, or starting in that split squat position, down, hop up, down, hop up. If you can, spring straight up, feel free to do that, but don't feel like you have to. After those jump lunges, you've got press ups. That's the one that's going to take a little bit longer, those press ups, if you are doing them properly. So don't cheat yourself. Don't just drive, let the hips drive up first. Do make sure your press ups are still good form. Probably looking at going to an incline for quite a lot of people here. Even if you're just on the bottom step of your stairs, press ups are next. So remember, hands under shoulders, elbows come to a W, glutes are tight. Take a little breather between them if you need to. You can break them down into chunks. Maybe do 5 at a time. If you don't have 20 press-ups in your locker. After your 20 press-ups, the final station, final exercise is 20 power jacks. So remember, power jacks, that little squat down, explosive drive up. If you can, have that impact. If that works for you, if that's fine, see how high you can jump up into the sky. Just make sure you're not hitting the ceiling. Shouldn't be with your arms coming out, they're not jumping up. How are we getting on? Are we nearly there? Final minute to get these done, guys. Let me know if you've done them already. You've got 1 minute to go. Keep pushing through. Use this first round to pace yourselves a little bit. See if you need to put in that little bit extra effort and energy next time around. Looking to try and get it completed. And if you do complete it easily, you need to try and keep that pace going over all these 4 rounds. How are we doing? Has anyone done it yet? I'm going to try this one later, I think, see if it's doable. Unlike mine that I normally program for you all. Okay, you've got less than 30 seconds to go. How are we getting on? Anyone done it? How are we doing? So if you have finished them all off, if you finished off on those power jacks, or maybe you're going for sumo squats, jogging on the spot for the remainder of the time, still keeping the intensity up, though this is still a working phase. You're nearly there, nearly a 4 minute, and relax. Okay, so try and keep a little note in your head where you got to if you didn't finish. We've got a minute of recovery now, and then we're going to go into round 2. So if you didn't finish, think about where you got to. Maybe you've done 10 power jacks or sumo squats. Try and match that next time, or maybe get a little bit further. Let me know how far you did get if you were taking part, or if you were taking part this morning, let me know how far you got. Set a little bit of a benchmark for everybody. I know some people work quite well if they sort of feel like they've got something to aim for, a bit of a target in sight of time or anything like that. So, last few seconds to take on some water, get yourself ready for the second time of this. We are going to get back in 15 seconds. So remember, starting off with squat to press again, so making sure you've got a weight to hand. Squat to press to start. Okay, ready to get back, guys? 3, 2, 1, off we go. So full squat down, keeping the chin tucked under, so not looking ahead, because then we're not going to have a neutral spine on the squat down. Your full depth of squat, breathing in on the way down, breathing out as you punch the weight up overhead. Keep the belly button drawn in as well, 20 of those. Should be quite a nice one to rep out there. Just watch those knees uncollapsing. After those 20 squat to press, you've got your high to low plank. Or any wrist or shoulder issues, instead of the high to low plank, going into either butterfly sit-ups or dead bugs. So remember, alternating the arms. Feet a little bit wider than your strict plank. Don't let the hips travel on their own. Keep everything neutral, spine, neck, everything moving as one in your neutral spine position. After the 20 high to low planks, moving on to jump lunges. So, most difficult version, if you can take impact, is jumping between each one. Next one down, jumping into that split squat and riding it down to the floor. Jump back up, ride it down to the floor. If you can't take impact, do regular lunges, or you can do lateral lunges instead if the impact is an issue. After jump lunges, we are on to press-ups. So again, you've had 90 seconds. Gave you a little 90-second heads up before. Can you think where you were last time? After jump lunges, you've got press-ups. So if you're feeling a little bit tired now, maybe you've warmed up into it, you feel like you can do a few more strict ones than you did last time. If you feel a little bit knackered, if you tried to sort of do too many strict reps, do go for a little bit of an incline. So anything you've got around you, a step, chair, low table, coffee table, for those press-ups. And then last one is power jacks or sumo squats if for any reason you can't handle the impact. So how are we doing? Keep on pushing through, guys. Keep that same momentum going. Like I said before in the first round, those press-ups are going to be a little bit slow. We're expecting them to be a little bit slower than the other ones if you are keeping good form. So don't sacrifice form. Maybe you went out a bit too hard in the first round and this round is feeling a little bit slower. Don't worry about that. We don't want you to sacrifice form just to try and get these reps done. Just take a note of how you did and let's go for it again in round 3. Keep going though, still got some of your time to go. So coming into our final minutes. This is it, guys. Last minute to push through. Where are you at? Are you finishing off press-ups? Are you into power jacks yet? 20 reps of each. You then got that full minute of recovery. Do give me a message. Let me know in the comments if you have finished and are on to those jogging on the spot. Maybe let me know in your recovery time, so we're really making the most of every minute here. Okay, coming into your last 30 seconds. So last few reps to finish off. We're a bit quiet on the comments today, so do drop me a comment in that minute break. Let me know if you are joining in or if you're just watching me for entertainment. That's fine. Keeping you entertained. Nearly there. Okay, got 15 seconds left. Keep pushing through. See if this time you can finish it off. A little bit extra. Our rest time is coming. Nearly there. And there we go. Well done. This is your 1 minute recovery. So grab some water. You've got a little bit of time now to leave me a comment. Let me know how you're getting on. If there's something you're struggling with a little bit, maybe you were going for the strict press-ups and then you had to go and find something to go and do them off of to be at a little bit of an incline. Any alternatives you're needing at this point? I know we've been doing a lot of different things than you would normally if you were coming into the studio, so few people have said they've got DOMs and things like that, which maybe you wouldn't have normally. So do let me know if any sort of niggles have come up and you do want anything different. So 20 seconds and we're back in. I'm going to clear the timer this time so I don't get too confused. So we are halfway through the section of work. No comments so far. Am I talking to myself? Anybody there? Right. 3, 2, 1. Off we go then. Round 3. Straight into those squat to press, everybody. So if you've got one dumbbell, holding it like so, watching those knees. This is the first one that's a little bit pacey now. So chin tucked under so we keep the spine neutral. Breathing out as you press up. Breathing in on that squat back down. Keep that tempo going. If you haven't finished a round yet, this is your round to try and do it. Let's try and get the whole thing complete in those 4 minutes. And let's do it again for our final round. This is round number 3. Once you've done 20 squat to press, we're going into those high to low planks. So high to low planks if you can, or butterfly sit-ups, or dead bugs, 20 reps. So thinking about alignment in those high to low planks when you're there, hands directly under the shoulders, belly button drawn in, glutes are tight, squeezing the bum, high to low planks. Again, a little bit slower, not going to be as fast as those squat to press were, so don't worry about that. But pushing a little bit faster on your overall pace for this set. If you haven't finished one yet, this is your 3rd one. See if you can finish this one off. So after high to low planks, we're up onto our feet into those jump lunges. So either jumping between each one, jumping into position and riding it down, or lunging forwards and back, or lateral lunges. But we are up onto our feet for the next one. So in your split position, down. You can hop straight up and down into each one. You can use the arms a little bit if you need to. Or down, ride it down. Hop up, ride it down. Make sure toes are pointing forwards though. You don't have to, once you've sort of hopped into position, if you're a bit off balance, you can readjust a little bit and ride it back down. So jump lunges. Gonna get that heart rate raising. Keep pushing through here. Hopefully you got your MyZone belt on. And at the end, see which zones you hit. After jump lunges, we've got press ups. So if you're getting a little bit tired, you might have to do a few more at an incline. Again, belly button drawn in, glutes are tight for those press ups. Thinking about the elbows coming into a W, so shoulders are back and down, not hunching and using the traps, not using anything we shouldn't be, and getting any unnecessary aches or pains. After press ups, we're on to the final thing, power jacks. So we've had just over 2.5 minutes. You've got 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds, and then you're getting your 1 minute recovery, and we're into our final round. So you know what to expect, you know the pace you should be going. Less than 90 seconds to go. So which one are we at? We've gone finishing off jump lunges, about to get into those press ups. Remember, think about form as well, not just repping them out, not going halfway down. Think about form. Yes, there is a time cap. If you don't finish, that is fine, and you've got another minute to go. It's just 4 minutes of work, basically. So don't worry if, don't sacrifice form is what I'm basically trying to say, just to try and rep it out and say you did it in 3 minutes. So think about form. Don't let the hips come up. Keep the pelvis tucked under in those press-ups. After press-ups, final one is power jacks. Okay, you've got less than 30 seconds to go of this 4-minute time cap. So let me know in the minute break you have how far you're going. Oh, Claire. Claire's going to work. Right, last few seconds left of this 4 minutes. Let's go. And relax. Okay, so no one has yet told me how far they've got. So are you just all watching? That's my question. Are you just watching? Are you having a lunch break? Having a cup of tea? Having another bourbon? Maybe some cream eggs? And yeah, you're not actually doing it. So I need someone to at least pretend they're doing it and tell me a time they've done it in. Or pick someone at random to tell me and show me their homework. No? Okay, 30 seconds and we're going for our final round. Just having our own little conversations on here. This is very serious, everybody. I will be doing this later and I will let you know how fast I did it. Right, 15 seconds. So get your weights ready, whatever you've been using. Last time, fourth and final round. This time we're going to finish it. If this is your first one you're joining in on, let's get it done in under 4 minutes, yeah? Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. Last 4 minutes of work then, everybody. Watching those knees on that squat to press, making sure you're sitting back into your heels, so not staying up on your toes. Weight shift back, like you're sitting, reaching for a seat behind you. Last round, let's go. Or for some of you, maybe your first round, if you've just been watching. Quite quiet on the comments. Squat to press, 20 reps, let's go. Fastest you've done this now, guys. Watch the form though. Good depth on the squat down. Breathing out on the press up, in as you go down. Moving on to next high to low planks. So not too much wobbling through the hips. Try and keep the hips as level as possible on those high to low planks, alternating the arms. Feet can be a little bit wider than your regular plank. If that's too much, through the wrists or the shoulders, on your back, into your butterfly sit-ups or into your dead bugs. But you're drawing the belly button in, hands should be under shoulders if you are doing those high to low planks. So final round. Last 4 minutes of work. If you have been finishing it and you're just too shy to tell me, just try and get a little bit further this time. Try and get a bit more of that time to jog in. Pushing through these high to low planks. Take a little breather if you need to, if the shoulders are getting tired. But if the shoulders are starting to hurt, and not in a muscle DOMS kind of way, go onto your back, go into dead bugs, or go into butterfly sit-ups. After the high to low plank, or whatever you are doing, or up onto that feet, final time for the jump lunges. So if you don't have any hip, knee, or ankle issues, see if this time you can jump and change in between each one. Rather than split and then ride it down, see if you can hop up and jump up between each one, working that heart, working the cardiovascular system, and getting a few higher scores on that MyZone belt as well. So, after jump lunges, which we're probably still powering through now, we have press-ups and power jacks. So let's see how we're doing for time. You are halfway through this 4 minutes, guys. So if you are halfway through, you're at 10 jump lunges in, and you will just get this done in time. So keep pushing. Breathing is synchronized to our movement. How are we getting on? Coming up to 90 seconds left. This is your last push. Last 90 seconds, then our breather, then our stretch. Keep pushing through. So if you're on those jump lunges, keep looking ahead, chest is forward, belly button is drawn in tight. Don't do anything you can't do, anything that's going to hurt you. Any pre-existing injuries that you have, don't do anything that's going to impact those guys. After jump lunges, press-ups and power jacks, and you are done. 20 of each. Last little push for time, everybody. You're coming into your final minute. Are you onto those press ups? If you need to do them all at an incline, do them all at an incline. If you need to do them on your knees, do them on your knees. But do make sure the hips are tucked under. So hands still on the shoulders. If you're doing them on your knees, not having this arch position. You want the pelvis tucked under, glutes are tight, keeping that straight line. So it should be that easy to rep out good press ups, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, last 30 seconds. Are you repping out your final power jacks? How high are you leaping up off the air? If you need something lower impact, going for those sumo squats instead, but still nice and pacey. Nearly there, 20 seconds to go. Last little push, everybody. Remember, this is it. This is your fourth and final round. Keeping that tempo going, pushing through to the finish. 10 seconds to go. Keep going. Putting that effort in. And 4 minutes is up. So, well done everybody. Give yourselves a pat on the back, catch your breath, take on some water. Do let me know in the comments if you were just watching or if you were actually taking part. Yeah, grab some water, come back to your mat and your little bit of space when you are ready, and we will have a little stretch. So let me know how you've been finding them all so far. If you've got sort of a particular time of day that you found works for you, if you've managed to create yourself a new bit of routine really. Obviously different than when you were going to work and having to commute and all that sort of stuff. So is there a time you found works for you? How are you finding the different sort of session structure so far? Do drop me a comment, let me know if you had any sort of particular favourites or any you felt are particularly hard. I did see a comment on the session of this earlier session when it was running at 7:30. Someone thought this was the hardest one yet. I know yesterday was a particular tough one for people. So do let us know, do give us feedback. We are listening to everybody's feedback and hopefully giving you all sort of what you are looking for. I know some people sort of like the interactiveness of this, and wearing a My Zone belt and knowing that other people can see what you've done does spur people on. It definitely spurs me on as well. So as many strategies as you can put in place if you are struggling with motivation and sort of working out on your own. So as I'm on the floor, let's go into a hamstring stretch. So one foot out to the side, sole of the foot to the inner thigh, reaching for your toe. So not just rounding the upper back just to try and prove how flexible you are. Should feel this down the back of your hamstring, so that's upper portion of that thigh. And like I said in my previous class I ran the other day, you should be holding these for at least 30 seconds, so not just sort of rushing through. And by doing these stretches at the end, you're going to reduce either the chance of you having muscle soreness, either tomorrow or the next day, or reducing the intensity of your soreness. So if you are someone that likes to work out every day, that is working out every day, do spend that time in stretching at the end, because otherwise if you haven't stretched at the end, if you've tried to just rush off and do something else, and then you're going to feel sore the next day, you're either A, not going to want to do the workout the next day, or B, not going to be able to give it your all. So no point sort of skimping on stretching. So do still make sure you do that at the end as well. Okay, so we will come up onto our feet for a quad stretch. Obviously you had lunges in there today. If you did get through to the finish, then you had some jogging on the spot. So both knees together, bit of softness in the standing leg, making sure we're standing up tall, and again, tipping the hips forward just ever so slightly. So you should feel the stretching out the quad of the leg that is bent, whichever leg you have gone for first. So a 30-second stretch here. So still thinking about posture. And once you've done 30 seconds on one side, give it a little shake off, we'll switch over onto the other side. And then as you've done press ups and high to low planks, we will also do a chest stretch and a shoulder stretch. And that will see us off for today. Oh, got Richard Winter joining. Hi. Ready for the stretch? Came just at the right time. Okay, so chest stretch. After all that hard work we all did, especially you, Richard Winter, well done. Both hands in the small of the back. So shoulders down away from the ears, squeezing the elbows together. Imagine you've got your field of fitness instructor helping you get a little bit further into that stretch. And you will get a little bit further. So like I said at the beginning of the workout, if you are working from home, if you're working over a laptop, you're working over a computer, the chest might feel a little bit tighter than normal. So if you can get up away from your desk at regular intervals, might be quite nice to throw in a little static chest stretch. Because what we're doing is we're coming into this position, you've got your arms around the front of your body, chest is getting tighter, back's getting a bit more slack, so we need to do some more pulling to get the upper back stronger, pulling the shoulder blades back into position and stretching out the chest. So we'll go for a shoulder stretch to finish. So one arm across the front of the body, keeping the shoulder back and down away from the ear, arms nice and long, a little bit of softness in the elbow, another arm just helps it across the front of the body. So should feel this stretching out the shoulder. We're staying away from the elbow joint, they're not cranking on the elbow joint. And again, 30 seconds for each side. So you keep holding that. I'm just going to see if we have any little last minute comments. So last few seconds holding that same side shoulder stretch. And then we'll finish off onto the other side. Okay, so switching over. So hopefully you've enjoyed this today, everybody. Me personally, I will be back here tomorrow for the lunchtime sessions. I'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing the Wednesday night 5:30 again. So Wednesday night crew, if you're watching, it's quite nice to have the sort of regulars coming in at the regular times they would. Everyone's still working on that same sort of structure. So yes, hopefully you enjoyed today. Hopefully if you were joining in, you got it done in the time. I'm going to see if it's doable. I'm going to go home this evening in my garden. I'll be trying this out, seeing if it is possible. But yeah, anything you need, either from me specifically or like I've said in previous videos, I've been manning the info emails. So anything you need, do get in touch with myself or one of the team, or drop a message to info and we will get back to you. But well done for today, everybody. The weather's just taking a little bit of a turn, so it's a little bit hard to be as positive. So keep your spirits up. Well done for coming along today. Thank you for joining me. And if you are around tomorrow lunchtime, I will see you then. Otherwise, hopefully I will speak to you soon. So thanks for coming, and bye for now.